As per the Vethathiri Maharishi philosophy, space itself is almighty, the primordial state of the universe, endowed with force, consciousness, and infinite potential. From this boundless space, primary energy particles known as Vedants evolved. These particles spin rapidly, creating waves through their interaction with a vast space, and these waves play a vital role in forming matter, magnetism, and even life. Right? We learned that magnetism, sound, light, taste, and smell all emerge through this wonderful natural process, connecting even the tiniest particle to the greatest cosmic structures. I won't keep you waiting, as a deeper understanding of these concepts will be beautifully explained by our presenter, who will guide us through the science and philosophy with clarity. It's truly an honor to welcome our esteemed presenter today, Mr. Tyagarajan Ayya, who's here to speak on a topic very close to all our hearts, the Vethathirian Unified Force and recent cosmological findings. This subject beautifully connects science with spirituality, and Ayya is the perfect person to guide us through it. With great respect and happiness, I would like to introduce Ayya. On the professional side, Ayya comes with strong experience in the field of information technology. He has worked as a senior IT consultant for over 13 years at a leading company in Saudi Arabia. And before that, he contributed his skills to well known firms like Wipro as a project manager and in AECOM as SAP IT specialist. He has successfully led over 30 major IT projects, helping businesses improve their systems and processes. With multiple international certifications such as SAP Solution Manager, ITIL Survive Management, ISO 20000 Lead Auditor certification to his credit, Aya is well known for his practical knowledge and ability to solve complex challenges. But what makes today truly special is his deep commitment to Manavalakala Yoga and Vethathirian philosophy. Aya has been a sincere follower since 1992 when he received Diksha and he completed Brahmayanam in 2024. He is an active member of Ariviyal Arangam, where he plays key role in managing and supporting research that explores the depths of Vethathirian science. His dedication is not just in practice, but also in helping others understand the deeper truth of life and the universe. Aya's ability to bridge technical knowledge with spiritual wisdom is truly inspiring. Today, as he takes us through the concept of the unified force, we'll get a chance to understand how the universe works, not just as a theory, but in a way that we can feel and apply in our lives. Let's stay open hearted and receptive as we step into the enlightening journey together. வாழ்க வளமுடன். ஐயா.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். நன்றி. Can I share my screen? Can you see my screen? Amma, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's audible. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see you. Yes, now I can see your screen.
வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. I would like to thank the president, directors, and all the staff members of Sky Yoga, earlier, and Dr. Janagiraman for allowing me to give this speech in this elite forum of research scholars. I would also like to thank Dr. Manikavasagamaya and Ariviyal Arangam team for encouraging me and giving me a lot of support, and also to the people to do research on Vethathiriam. So I would like to start with a poem of Maharishi. எந்த ஒன்றறிந்திடில் இறைவன் முதல் உயிர் வரை எல்லாவற்றையும் உணர்த்துமோ அதுவே காந்தமாம். முந்தையோர்கள் அகத்தவத்தால் முற்றுணர்ந்த போதிலும் மொழிவதற்கு ஓமையின்றி முட்டி மோதி நின்றனர். இந்த நாள் விஞ்ஞானமோ ஏற்றம் பெற்றதாலதை இயங்கிடும் மின்சாரம் மூலம் எல்லாருக்கும் உணர்த்தலாம். அந்தமாம் மெய்ஞானத்தோடு அணுவின் ஞானம் இரண்டையும் குறித்து உய்ய பாலம் போன்ற ஆக்க ஞானம் காந்தமே. So with the latest technologies and developments in cosmology, realization of the unified force would be easier than before. So I will start with that note. So today's agenda is we will talk about theories of universal evolution, Vethathiriam philosophy of unified force, content of space in different levels, self-transformation process flow, recent cosmological missions and findings. So theories of universal evolution. We know, all of us know about theories of creation from the religion's perspective, but I would like to list some of the theories or popular theories in science world. So obviously the Big Bang theory, which is the most widely accepted. So it talks about the universe began as an incredibly hot and dense point, approximately 13.8 billion years ago, and it has been evolving, expanding ever since. And we have steady state theory, which talks about everything is existed as it is and with the constant state without a beginning and end. So it suggests new matter is continuously created as the universe expands. Another theory is inflation theory, which is built upon the Big Bang theory concept, proposing the universe underwent an extremely rapid expansion or inflation, and in the fraction of second after the Big Bang. This is one of the theories scientists talk about. And we have multiverse theory, which talks about multi-universe. Many universes exist simultaneously, and each universe in the multiverse could have a different physical laws and constants. And there is another model called cyclic model, which is like universe undergoes infinite cycles of expansion and contraction. So there is a big crunch, which is like contraction, and there is a big bang. It is happening and it creates a new universe, and it is a cyclic process. So this is one of the theories. And ekpyrotic theory, this theory talks about universe resulted from a collision of two three-dimensional worlds, they call brands, in a higher dimensional space. Then the last but not least, it's a white hole theory. This is more speculative one, and it talks about opposite to the black hole, meaning the black hole absorbs everything, but the white hole expels the matter. So this is also one of the theories they are talking about. And there are other theories like chaos theory. They have string theory, which is becoming very popular now. So there are a lot of theories or about the universal evolution. Okay. So now we will compare Vethathiriam concept of the unified force and what science community talks about this. So this concept of the planum, the external eternal space or the space, is for centuries. It has been discussed for centuries from the ancient days. So Aristotle, for example, and other thinkers, they consider space to be filled with the substance, contrasting with concept of vacuum. So space is not nothingness, it has something, some mysterious substance. And Rene Descartes, in 17th century, he talks about there is no such thing as empty space, and he is also arguing about space and matter are distinguishable. And this is really fueling the modern scientific understandings and discoveries. So they are the fundamentals or basic where the scientific community built their understanding so far. And all of us know ether theory, which is around 19th century, and it is also talking about lumiferous ether is planum, and it carries light waves such as air carries the sound. So this was one of the theories discussed during 19th century. And there is another physicist, David Bohm. He was suggesting implicate order. So this theory also suggesting space is a dynamic interconnected planum of potentiality. The planum can represent a unified field of consciousness or energy. So this is more or less similar to Vethathiriam concept. And then the modern physics, which is talking about in this century, the quantum mechanics and quantum vacuum. So it also supports the idea of that there is no empty space actually. It's a frothing sea of quantum processes. This quantum vacuum is filled with virtual particles and energy fluctuations, contributing to the phenomenon like dark energy, dark matter, which drives the accelerated expansion of the universe. And when it comes to the forces, they talk about four fundamental forces of nature as per the science community. So, gravity, the weak force, electromagnetism, and the strong force. So, these are the forces governing everything that happens in universe. Now, we will talk about Vethathiriam. So, in Vethathiriam, Maharishi Ayya, he defines eternal space, which is the unified force, an everlasting, almighty, omnipotent, omnipresent, singular dark matter with inherent potential of self-compressive pressure force, all attractive, gravitational in nature, and this is the origin of all forces. And what are the qualities, inherent qualities of that? Planum, force, and consciousness. So what is planum? Planum means unlimited, powerful, invisible, omnipotent, potential which will blossom into anything or any action according to the time, place, and environmental conditions. So this is the definition from Vethathiri Maharishi. I took it from his book, The Unified Force. So it is very clear definition of space and the qualities of the space. So nowhere in science this much clarity is given. Even though they are searching for the truth, Vethathiriam has given already the truth. In terms of the force, what Vethathiriam says, the self-compressive surrounding pressure force, that is the basic force of the universe, the source of all forces, which will act in all directions, in all degrees, with effect according to the circumstances. It is the fundamental pressure force. When it comes to consciousness, science is still long way to go. And there are some of the theories, popular theories, recently has been discussed, which is integrated information theory, IIT, and the global neural workspace theory, GNWT. These are doing much better than the other theories and other researchers, and they are focusing on the brain activities and the neuroscience fields. And there is another concept called out of the body experience. This is also becoming popular now, which is perceived reality suggests that consciousness can extend beyond our physical body. So challenging the traditional neurological explanation, because when it comes to brain or neurology, they talk about the physical structure of the brain and then the neurons. So all related to the physical structure. But here, this out of the body experience concept talks about it can go beyond, the perception can go beyond the physical body. So, as they mention as universal consciousness, propose that awareness may not be confined to a brain alone. So it can occur. So as per their statements, it can occur in different situations like deep meditation. So they mention about meditation to extreme stress. So it can happen due to some extreme stress or in the subtle state like in deep meditation. So this suggests consciousness might be more flexible and more expansive than previously thought. And they talk about dark matter. It's a very simple definition, a component of universe which whose presence is discerned from the gravitational attraction rather than its luminosity. And they talk about the black hole, which is the astronomical object, gravitational pull so strong, so nothing can escape from that, even a light. And they formed when a massive star is exhausted, its nuclear fuel, and then collapse under its own gravity, leading to a point which is dense, infinitely dense. It is called a singularity. In Vethathiriam, Maharishi has defined very clearly about the consciousness. So consciousness is omniscient capacity, maintaining everything in an order of function. So in inanimate things, it acts like pattern, precision, regularity. So when the first action or movement happened in the space, it starts with pattern, precision, regularity. In animate beings, it acts as, in addition to the pattern, precision, regularity, it acts as cognitions, experience, and discrimination. In human being, in addition to the above two stages, the same consciousness ascends to higher stage as realization, which is the faculty to realize invisible qualities of a self. So mind, soul, and the unified force. So here, what are the function? Three unfailing, precise function of the consciousness is evolution, mutation, and cause and effect system. When it comes to dark matter, Vethathiri Maharishi has mentioned about dark matter in different books. So he tells it is eternal space, primordial universe, almighty, all penetrative unified force, and it's the primordial state of universe. When he talks about black hole, he gives a very clear definition. So black hole is nothing but when it is dark matter and black holes, both are same, but the dark matter is the primordial state of universe, the starting point of the universe. But when you talk about black hole, it is the final stage of the energy particles slow down and stop their self-rotation and become the eternal space. So if you look at the science and Vethathiriam, science has too many theories and they're looking for truth, looking for the observation, because science works based on the empirical evidences, theoretical calculations, and mathematical calculations, and then the observations. But when Vethathiriam, our Maharishi, from his blessings, from his intuition, he has very clearly defined each and every scientific facts in his books and in his teachings. Okay. Now let us move to the universe. So what is universe and what are the things in the universe? So as per the science, the 70% of the universe is filled with dark energy and 25 is filled with dark matter, and only 5% of the universe is what the observable universe and the ordinary matter. So out of that 5%, you can see the split in the pie chart. You can see 28% is cool intergalactic gas, warm intergalactic gas 15%, and then hot intergalactic gas up to 40%, and so on. So, how many objects defined in the universe as per the current scientific inventions or discoveries? So, number of superclusters, 10 million superclusters we have, and number of galaxy groups. So, the galaxies, multiple galaxy groups is called supercluster, and then there is a galaxy groups. It is 25 billion numbers, and then large galaxies, 350 billion large galaxies are there, and then number of dwarf galaxies, which are smaller compared to the large galaxies, 7 trillion numbers are there in the cosmos. So number of stars, 30 billion trillion. So you multiply 3 into 10 to the power of 22, it gives the number of stars available in the universe. Why I am showing this is just we are going through a process of step by step up to atom to the human being. So in the eternal space, what is eternal space? Is there any space or any dimensions or any edge of the space? We don't know. We don't have any edge, or we don't have any size or limitation. But from the technologies, from the data currently we have, it is 61 billion light years away. Okay, so 61 billion light years away, we don't know anything. Okay, so what is light year? The light year is the distance the light can travel in 1 year. That is 9.4 lakh crore kilometers. What is the speed of light? 3 lakh kilometer per second. Okay, just for your imagination. Okay. So there are different levels of observations happened. So the first thing is the magnetic field, which is the Agash. Okay. So how long or how much distance or anything? So we assume theoretically, based on the calculations, 61 billion years, up to 61 billion years, it is filled with magnetic field. Then comes the observable universe. So in 61 billion light years, beyond that, we don't know what is happening and what are all the things there. But in 61, someday we know we can observe. And then if you come to 46 billion years away, which is the observable universe, because everything is observed, but unreachable and incommunicable, meaning you cannot get any lights or any radiation from there. So that is the 46 billion light years away. Then comes our known or observable, communicable, observable universe, which contains all our galaxies, stars, planets, living beings, all are within this limit. And also, just keep in mind, this is the 5% of the entire universe. Let us do a small experiment, research. How many of us know how many molecules in our living room? Any guess? So let us take one box of 1 meter to 1 meter to 1 meter volume, 1 meter cube volume, empty box. And we count how many molecules are there. Normally in the room, we can know the composition of the room. Air contains 78% of nitrogen, 0.04 carbon dioxide, 21% oxygen, and other gases. Okay. So if we take a 1 meter cube box and count 10 to the power of 25 molecules in 1 meter cube, that much dense is our normal air. So just imagine when we go to the molecules and the atoms, we will discuss. So 10 to the power of 25, meaning you add 25 zeros after 10. So that many molecules in 1 meter cube. Let us take a vacuum, laboratory vacuum. So we remove as much as possible all the content of the box and then see how many molecules. It will have 10,000 crore molecules in 1 meter cube. So we are saying it is a vacuum, but it's not a vacuum. Even in the best technology industrial vacuum, it will have 10,000 crore molecules in it. Let us go to the space outside our Earth, inside our solar system, the space between the planets and moons, and let us count. It will have 10 crore molecules in 1 meter cube. So we are saying space, nothing is there. But in space, if you calculate 10 crore molecules in 1 meter cube. In CERN, which you know in European Organization for Research, Nuclear Research. So this lab has a collider. Everybody knows LHC, Large Hadron Collider. There they produced a vacuum which is less than the planetary space. So that is the less space or the best vacuum created by man. Let us go beyond the solar system, which is called interstellar space. That means outside the solar system. How many will be there? 5 lakhs molecules in 1 cubic meter. Even if you go beyond our solar system, which is the intergalactic space, still you will find molecules. Let us go to the intergalactic space, which is the space between different galaxies. And for your information, when we see a photo or when we see a picture of galaxies, it is not near. Each galaxy has, based on the luminosity, based on the size, it will be billions of light years away from each other. So that much space it has. Let us take 10 meter cube because it's a blank space. So we try to take more space and see. It will have few atoms in 10 meter cube. So that means if you go beyond the intergalactic space, you will have the pure space than our vacuums, which we create manually or even within the solar system. So meaning that is the reason, if there is no particles, there is no molecules and atoms, that is the reason you receive the light or radiation or magnetic waves without any interruption. Assume we go out of the observable universe. Still, you will have a seething virtual quantum particles momentarily appear and disappear, which cannot be measured. Just imagine Vethathiriam. Vethathiri Maharishi has mentioned the fundamental dust, formative dust. It appears, and due to the self-surrounding pressure force, it disappears. It pops in and out of the emergence, and then it disappears. Let us think about, okay, now we have crossed all the universe space. After 61 billion years, what will be there? Greater nothing than nothing. But still we will have a laws of physics. This is what science says. Okay. Beyond everything. We don't know. Beyond everything. Is there any age, any size or any limitation? We don't know. So what science community says? There will be no matter, no energy, no laws of physics and no time. But they agree there is a mystery force which science exploring with its current technology and advancements. And there is a limitation. because they don't know what is there. But they announce no matter, no energy, no laws of physics, no time. What Vethathiriam philosophy says: force, volume, time, and distance. When we conceptualize the primordial state of the unified force, there is no volume, force, time, and distance calculable. So you can compare what they are saying and what Vethathiriam says. So in the primordial state of the unified force, there is no volume, force, time, and distance calculable. This is the static silent state. But in action, the state, the same unified force, takes the shape of energy particle. Here, the four dimensions of volume, force, time, and distance come into picture, and then to your perception and calculation. See how the Vethathiriam philosophy explains even beyond our understanding or beyond the scientific community's understanding, but it correlates. That's what I am trying to say. It correlates. So they define something because they don't have evidence or data, but Vethathiriam says this is what going to be there, even you find later. Let us go to the flow of self-transformation of eternal space. Before that, just I want to tell you one poem from Vethathiri Maharishi. It was written 30th of December 2002. இறைநிலை தன் இறுக்கத்தால் எழுந்த முதல் தன்மாற்றம் இறைத்துகளாம். இறைத்துகள்கள் எனும் தூசு கூடியதோர் தொகுப்பே விண். விண்கூட்டம் ஐம்பூதம் நிறைவெளியில் விண் சுழல வெளி அழுத்த விளைவாக விண் கரைய அக்கரைசல் வெளியேற அனைத்து அலைகள் காந்தமாச்சு. மறைப்பொருளாம் காந்தம் என்ற நுண்துகளின் தன்மாற்றம் அழுத்தம் முதல் ஐந்தாகும். முடிவு நிலை மனமாம். குறைவில்லா இயற்கையதன் தன்மாற்றச் சீரதனை மேற்சொன்ன வரிகளை வைத்து மனப்பாடம் செய்வீர். This is one of the best poems I have read, and then this everybody has to keep in their mind by heart, because this explains the entire philosophy of the self-transformation of eternal space. Okay. Now let us go to the unified force. That is the first step, which is the primordial state, stock force, static force, eternal, almighty, God, we call with different names, and it has a unified force, self-compressive surrounding force. So this is the force, the intrinsic force in static silent state is self-compressive and gravitational force. The self-compression brings about a twist or fold, which becomes an energy knot. This is very, very important to know. So because of the self-compressive surrounding force, it becomes a twist or a fold or a knot is created. That is the formative dust. Assume a glass ball. Just assume a glass ball, pure see-through glass ball, and assume there is a machine which applies the pressure all around equally in all degrees, 360 degrees. Assume there is a tremendous pressure given on the top of the surface of the ball. What will happen? It will fracture inside. It will crumble inside. Right? There will be a fracture or a crack or a crumble, because assume that. So same way, the all penetrative, all perceptible liquid or primordial state, when it is getting compressed in all direction, there is a fold, there is a knot is created, which is the fraction of the same almighty becomes a formative dust. And because of the nature of the surrounding force, it starts spinning. It gets a spinning. So when it spins, it creates the repulsive force against the same primordial soup. So what happens? There is a friction. So due to the friction, it will get infinitesimal and then it will disappear when it comes to the formative dust. But if the formative dust start accumulating association of formative dust, then it becomes infinitesimal energy particle, which is called Vedan, which is the Akash particle. So that again rotates in infinitesimal speed, which creates a friction between the space, eternal space, and this particle, and it emits, it radiates the magnetic waves, which is called yogan. So that's where I have given this. Okay, these three states are called hidden state. In Tamil, it is called Maraipurul. It is the hidden state. This is where science is still struggling or uh, struggling. They are trying to find something in this region. Okay. Then comes the quantum state. So when the infinitesimal energy particles get together, these two areas I just highlighted because in Vethathiriam, Aya directly talks about electron, proton, and neutron for the simple understanding of normal people. But what is happening between these two area is as per the science findings, recent science findings. So there is weakly interacting massive particles, which are subatomic particles, the candidates for dark matter, and then it combines, associates, and then it forms subatomic particles. Then comes atom, which contains electrons, protons, neutrons. So this region you can call it as quantum state. Okay. Then if you go beyond that, then normal elements. Our elements, which we are talking, elements are coming and then becoming. This is called Panchabhutas, 5 physical body states. And then it combines, associates, and it becomes molecules. And from the molecules, the bio state, which is the biomatter arrives. That is amino acids, microbes, the historic state there, the amino acids, microbes, like that it started. Then plants, animals, then so those kind of living beings started. So the same yogan, which was magnetism, when it comes to the living being, it becomes biomagnetism within the confined space of the limits of the living being. So when it comes to plants and animals, up to the animals, it's 5 senses. When it become human being, it gives the last main state of the sense, which is the 6th sense, that is called mind. And in overall, if you look at from the beginning of the formative dust to the human being, everything is running in the pattern, precision, and regularity. When it comes to the bio form, it adds up to the cognition, experience, and discrimination. And also in human being, it becomes 6th sense. So this is the overall flow in a single picture. You can see the segmentation like hidden state, quantum state, and physical state, and also how the flow of the self transformation happens. Okay. Now I talked about only the physical structure or the matter. Now we will talk about the shadow wave, the yogan, what happens and what it does in the physical structure. So assume this is the magnetic field, the Akash. What it is contains, it is called energy field, and it becomes, when it interacts with the physical structure, it becomes pressure. Then in the air field, the next one is the light air field, where it becomes sound. So it interacts with the dense particles and then it gives up sound. The next one layer is the heavy air. There, the same wave particle becomes light, And you can see here, I just put the circles because everything inside the pressure. And so everything has a pressure and everything has a the next level sound and light. And then so this is a layers. Liquid state, it becomes a state taste. And in the solid state, it becomes a smell. And in the living being, it becomes mind. So that means if you take the mind, that means it includes all from the pressure to the mind. So like that, in all the layers, it becomes physical, mechanical, chemical, and then bio changes. So these are the interactions or the reactions happens due to the interaction between the physical structure and then shadow particle, shadow wave particle, which is that is the interaction between the Vedan and Yogan based on its environment and constitution of the size. Okay. Now we will come back to the energy particle, the beginning of the energy particle, that is the formative dust particle. So assume the formative dust particle is a globe. Yes, a globe of liquid or globe of something. So you assume as a globe. It has pressure, surrounding pressure force from all the directions. Because of that, it starts rotating, right? And then because of association of this, it becomes the Akash particle. So initially maybe the space, and then it becomes compressed or the pressurized from all direction. Then it starts rotating, and then it accumulates or associates, and then it becomes the Akash particle, which is the Vedan. So infinitesimal energy particle, Vedan. So it contains all the formative dust particles. It has a self-compressive surrounding pressure force. Also, because of the rotation, it gives a repulsive force. So it will rotate with the center of rotation in the space, and the spreading waves, which is called Yogan, happens because of the friction due to the surrounding pressure force on the space. Okay, now what science says, is it proved by the science? Yes, it is proved by the science because it happens based on the physics law of specific gravity. So any rotation, anything rotates, there will be two forces applied. One is the centrifugal force, which is the heavy elements or heavy things will go towards the center, and the lighter elements and the speedy elements which will or things which will go out of the way. So that is the centrifugal force. So this applicable in the infinitesimal energy particle Vedan. Okay. So now we talked about Vedan. Then the next one is the quantum. So what is the quantum form? So this is a concept of the world quantum mechanics. A branch of physics deals with the smallest particles in the universe. So quantum form can only be described using a mixture of mathematics, physics, and lot of imagination. Because there is a theory, there is observation, there are some calculations they have, some previous theories they discuss, and then finally they arrive as the uh, correct or closest concept, which is the quantum mechanics. Okay, let us compare the quantum. So when because we talk about quantum particles, subatomic particles, so let us try to understand or imagine what is the size comparison. So one human hair, if you measure, it is 0.1 millimeter thick. An atom, it's about million times smaller than that. So assume it. So 0.1 millimeter, and the atom is million times, 10 lakhs times smaller than that is a atom. A proton, which is part of an atom, is million times smaller than atom itself. So if you take an atom, inside there is a proton, the size of the proton is million times smaller than the whole atom. If he goes even smaller, we find the Planck length. Okay, so there is a scientist called Max Planck. He defined the smallest size. So even that 10 million trillion times smaller than a proton, which is the Planck length. And there we find the quantum foam. So just for the imagination, I just given the comparison from the one single hair to the level of the proton. So even the smaller than that proton, we will find the quantum. So quantum foam concept is suggested by the physicist John Wheeler in 1955. So he was talking about it is like a sea of bubbles constantly forming and popping at the tiniest scale of universe. So that is the smallest particle they defined. The physicist John Wheeler defined in 1955 as a theory. According to this theory, quantum foam is made up of virtual particles. These are particles of matter and antimatter. They're constantly being created and destroyed. See, this correlates with our concept of the fundamental dust particle, because it appears, pops out, and then because of the pressure surrounding pressure force, it disappears or it dissolve into the space. So similarly, they define this is a pair of matter is getting created and then destroyed. So this constant activity causes the space time, because space time caused by the movement, that is also defined by Vethathiriam. If there is a movement, then it takes a space, then there is a distance, then the time comes. So the space time fabric of the universe to fluctuate or form at very small scales. So we all of us know, so yeah, how the nucleus is formed. So there is a quark which is smaller than 10 to the power of minus 16 centimeters. Okay, we just compared before with the hair size. So this is 10 to the power of minus 16 centimeter or less are called quarks. And then we have electrons similar or more or less same size of the quarks. So 3 quarks makes the proton. 2 up quarks, which is the combination of 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3. And then there is 1 down quark, which is minus 1 by 3. If you put total, it becomes 1. So that is the proton. Same way, the neutron is built, but up is 1, down is 2. So it is smaller than the proton. And this combination, this association of these protons and neutron becomes the nucleus. So what in Vethathiriam we talk about is the infinitesimal energy particle becomes electron. Because of the speed reduces, it becomes electrons, and then proton and neutron, and then finally it disappears as a black hole with the space. Okay, so this is just an outline to understand the size and then formation of the nucleus. There is one discovery in recently, I think 6 o'clock, so I'm a little bit speeding up. Scientists discovered a shockingly tiny new particle, which is lesser than a femtometer. Femtometer is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 15 meters. They found one particle which is again decays, and it never annihilate with each other. Normally, the quantum particles, nature of quantum particle is it will not interact with others. Okay, but when it moves or when it comes closer to one another, same, it will annihilate, meaning it will get consumed and destroyed. But this particle, the toponium, is not annihilating, but it is decaying. It automatically reduces its size and it becomes bottom quark and W boson quark. So one of the two bosons responsible for weak nuclear force. And they calculated this is 0.1 femtometer. very small, even smaller than the 10 to the power minus 15 meters. Why I mentioned this? Because the quarks are at this level, 10 to the power minus 15 meters. But this one, they found 0.1 femtometer. So this is one of the theory or the discovery. So anybody who is interested in this field, they can go and study and then maybe give more insight on this. Structure, as all of us know, atom structure is drawn as a circles inside circles, but in the reality, the atom will work as a like a fog or a cloud of electrons. Inside that, there will be proton and nucleus, and electrons will orbit in different levels. So that levels are called shells, like a K shell and the L shell, M shell, H shell. There are different layers, and these electrons in one orbit to another orbit has a different size and rotation and spinning. So this is normally a atomic structure after we come from the subatomic to atom. There is a table which everybody knows, a periodic table. Why I am mentioning this, I will share this information. There is a periodic table, interactive periodic table. If you click on anything, you will get the details. In one page, you will get all the details. So here in the periodic table, just I want to highlight the hydrogen is the first one. And in the same level, helium. So these are the basic fundamental gases formed in the universe with one atomic number, and helium 2 atomic numbers. So when you click on this link, you will get it, and you can click any element, and then you can find the atomic number, atomic weight, symbols, name, shapes, boiling point, all the details you will get in one table. Okay, so these elements, from where it comes? From the atom. The next one is the elements. Then elements makes the other Panchabhutas. So atom to organism. What is the cycle? So from atom it becomes molecules. Molecules become macromolecules, and then organelles. Then comes cell. Cell becomes tissue. Tissue become organ become organ system, and then the full organism. This is applicable from the one cell, the organism, to human. So the cell is the fundamental smaller unit. Why it is fundamental unit? Because it is capable of performing all life functions, including the converting energy, digesting food, excreting the waste, reproducing, and then inhaling the oxygen. So that's why it is called the unit of measure for the basic unit of the cell, the living beings. The earliest life form is found 3.8 billion years ago, the microbes. Okay, but in recent discovery, they found a life form dating 4.1 billion years ago, which is very close to the formation of the earth, which is 4.5 billion years. So this is very shocking or surprising evidence that when the earth is formed, immediately after some time, the life forms also started forming. Okay, now when we eat anything, what happens? It becomes Sabda Dhadus, 7 fundamental tissues in the human body. Rasa, Rakta, Mamisa, Meda, Asti, Majjai, Sukla. That means tissue fluid, blood, and then it converts into muscles, fat, tissues, bone tissues, bone marrow, and then reproductive system. So this is what is happening in the human body or any living being. Everything from the start, from the primordial state, from the eternal space, everything works with a pattern, precision, regularity. You can just imagine that. Okay. Scientists estimate that average human cell has 100 trillion atoms. 100 trillion atoms. Okay. Assume you take your weight. Okay. Assume you are 70 kg. Just multiply with 10 to the power of 27 atoms. 27 zeros. You just add 27 zeros. That many numbers of atoms you have in a total human body. Okay. That means 7 billion, billion, billion. Okay. Because one cell has 100 trillion. Then you can calculate based on your weight how many atoms you will have. Okay. In the human body, again, I'm just correlating how the universe formed. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is full of, the space is full of hydrogen, right? In body also, you have 2/3 of your body contains hydrogen. Hydrogens as in Greek, which means water forming. And 1/4 is oxygen, which is oxys genes, which means acid forming. And then 1/10 is carbon. So that means these three atoms add up 99% of the total. Let us see the composition of the universe. You will see, surprisingly, the same. Hydrogen is 75%, helium 23%, oxygen 1%. The remaining are fractions. Okay, so that means, as mentioned by Maharishi, அண்டத்தில் உள்ளதை பிண்டத்தில் காணலாம். So everywhere it works as an order of function. Now we will talk about some of the recent researches within this year. Okay, so researchers proposes first time model that replaces dark energy and dark matter in explaining nature of the universe. See, they found something, it's a theoretical, but found something. It will replace the dark energy, because dark energy or dark matter is the names given for something. Okay, so they found something interesting: transient temporal singularities. This is done by Richard Liu, doctor. He is from University of Alabama. So he is telling, or he found something, which is, instead of universe expanding from the single big bang, it evolves through multiple rapid bursts of energy and matter called transient temporal singularities. Now let us talk about singularities. Singularities means when we talk about black hole, final stage of that black hole, it becomes singularity, or everything it goes to the singularity, right? And the starting point, as Vethathiriam says, is singularity. And it is not one, it should be multiple. So this theory supports, we cannot conclude, but supports. So somebody can read more and do some research to find out how it connects with our theory. So these singularities flood the cosmos with energy and matter, driving the expansion of the universe. Because Vethathiriam says, because of the Akash particles, association of Akash particles, it expands, the universe expands. The model eliminates the need for dark matter, because eliminating means no need of calling something as dark matter. We can directly call singularities. That's what they meant. The theory just suggests that burst provide negative pressure. See, this is also another important point. The burst, which is the singularity bursting, it gives a repulsive force. Negative pressure is nothing but the repulsive force, which helps explain the universe accelerating expansion. This challenges the traditional cosmology models. Okay, so it's a bold, innovative idea. Okay, now let us see Maharishi's quotes. The formative dust particle, the fraction of the divine state, pops in and out of existence and dissolves in space. When associated together forms the infinitesimal energy particles. So just imagine it. It is more or less connecting to this new proposed research. And I will give you the link to that the paper also. You can read more. The other finding is about the axions. So the earlier theory, in earlier years, they have found something for related to axions, but they have done recently, the Harvard University has done some experiments which confirms the presence of the axions. So normally axions happens in the when the neutron stars are exploding, there is a field kind of matter appears that is very small, smaller than any subatomic particle. It can be a suitable dark matter particle. That's what science thinks. And in recent um, invention or scientific research, they found they are in a controlled environment. The team coaxed the axion quasi particles, which is the particles which lead to the axions, into revealing their dynamic nature in the manganese bismuth telluride as a material which is very highly active, uh, which will produce quasi particles. So they are trying to do something research using this, and this also one of the breakthroughs in scientific forums. So you can read this paper also. The other very important groundbreaking experiment is about the consciousness. So normally the consciousness, when we talk, they talk about brain activities, and the neurons and the nerve systems, central nerve systems, autonomous nerve systems. So they stuck to the only the physical properties of the bodies. But here, this one is very really a groundbreaking experiment, which is the anesthesia was administered to rats, has convinced scientists that tiny structures in the rodents' brains are responsible for experience of consciousness. Okay, what it does, it explains them the microtubules perform incredible operations in the quantum realm, meaning at the quantum level, it does some activities. Why it is very important? Because when it comes to the quantum mechanics, we have concepts called quantum tunneling, quantum entanglements. That means any particle in anywhere in the space has any action or any reaction or any force act on it, it will immediately reflects in the other part of that quantum particle. So that's why quantum mechanics related to this consciousness is very important. So citing the work of earlier researchers, the study infers that the same kind of quantum operations are likely happening in human brains. That is what they found. Okay, what Maharishi says, mind is a wave. Mind has no limitations. It starts from within the physical body and it can expand to the whole universe. It can shrink to the volume of the Vedan, which is infinitely uh, energy particle, and in no time expand and encompass the whole universe. Beyond physical body, mind functions as a conscious in the static silent state. So you can see the correlation. So already defined. Maharishi defined the consciousness. What can the conscious can do, mind can do. So that is where this groundbreaking experiment is very important. So if anybody is doing a research on this consciousness, please read this article and then you can maybe go further on it. Recent cosmological observations by JWST, because these are the missions currently in operation. So the JWST is very important because it is scanning the entire universe, observable universe. Okay. Why it is very important? Because it can give some insights on the dark matter and dark energy. So they found some giant success, and then in distance universe, and it can change, or it can challenge the understanding of the cosmic evolution also. So that is why it's very important. And they have found some complex chemistry in primordial galaxies. Means they found something, the galaxies which are starting to build, and they analyze the chemistry, what is happening there, and then the results are really mind-blowing. And another important uh, observatory, which is the dark energy spectroscopic instrument, DESI. So this has a collaboration, the largest collaboration, with 900 scientists and 15 research organizations. This is the largest collaboration, and they collected for 5 years. They recently they released the data to common public, so anybody can take and then analyze, and they can give their feedback. And this, combining this study or the data, and then there is a cosmic microwave radiation background data, they try to analyze all this. There is a supernova data, there is a gravitational lensing. They are getting many data, and then they are combining and then give it to the public or who are interested parties, and they are doing the research to find the secrets of the universe. The standard model of cosmology struggles to explain all the observations. So when they apply the standard model, it is really, they are not trying to, or they are not coming to a conclusion. But the model where dark energy influences changes over time seems to fit all the data. So the data says the dark energy influence is changing over time. But from our theory, Vethathiriam theory, dark matter or dark energy should not change. It is planar. So if it is changing, that means something else. So they need to go further to study. Okay. There are some future missions which will give you understanding of what science community is doing, trying to understand what is dark energy. Okay. So there is a DESI, which I talked about. It is in Arizona. There is a telescope, and they are trying to map they are trying to make a 3D map of the universe in all direction. And there is a Euclid, which is launched in 2023. This is also again making a 3D map. Why we have similar kind of observatories? Because to compare the data, to match, so that they can prove their data. Because in the when they are proving the data, they call sigma. So 3 sigma, 4 sigma, 5 sigma. So they are expecting 5 sigma data statistics possibility. This is the probability. Then they will announce it as officially. Okay. So there are a lot of missions which are targeting the 3D map of the universe and beyond the universe. So they have some special imaging technologies, spectrometers, near infrared photometers. So these are some high resolution imaging spectroscopies they have. And then the Vera, which is Rubin Observatory, which is yet to be operational in 2025 this year, and it is constructed in Chile. And this is also again to grow the understanding of the dark energy. And there is a SPAREX, which is the short version of spectrophotometer of history of universe, epoch of reionization, and ice explorers. So because why it is combined, all these activities they are doing. And then this is launched in April 2025. Again, this is also originating, investigating the origination of the universe. So they are trying to do scanning of 450 million galaxies. Then there is a Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. This is yet to be launched, and planned to be launched in May 2027. Again, this will be again 3D mapping of the universe, but it will have more better clear images and data captured than the other one missions already there. So this is also again why universe is expanding, and how the dark energy is behaving, how it is changing. All this are their motive for this missions. And also, very importantly, NASA also supports a citizen science project called Dark Energy Explorers, which allows anybody in the world, even those who have no scientific training, to help the research for the dark energy answers. Like what we are doing, I would like to thank Mr. Janaki Ramanaya to bring everybody together to do research on Vethathiriam concept. Take any concept, any topic, and then maybe you may not be expert, but you are interested, your intuitions tell something. And so as a group, as a team, we help each other to do some researches. So this is a very good initiative. And then when they prepare the portal, the centralized portal, this will really help us sharing the data with everybody. And then knowledge sharing is very important, and then anybody can bring their knowledge also together, so that we can really build good research. Okay, now currently this is the last slide. So currently what we are doing in Arivila Rangam. So researchers, currently we are doing researches on time, gravitational waves, consciousness, blessings, Vethathiri Maharishi's poems, and so on. So these are some of the researches already our team members are doing. And currently this week, 20 plus Vethathiriam professors and practitioners registers their interest to do researches on Vethathiriam concept. And we have 3 speeches weekly, every day. Every day we have a session, but 3 days specifically for speeches in Vethathiriam concept. And our senior members, they give feedback and then suggestion, and then even to evolve as a research. And we have 4 Q&A sessions, 4 days, to for the queries, and then explain and give guidance on the research topics. And then we have dedicated one session every Saturday for only focusing on the research and help and support any interested members. Even they don't know about, don't have any background of research, only they have a interest and then intuition to do any research related to Vethathiriam. We are ready to help. And then for any information, more information, you can contact Professor Dr. Manika Vasagam, so he can help us, help you to join our team. And finally, I would like to thank you again, all of you, to patiently listen to this long presentation. And then thank Mr. Janaki Ramanaya, and then Sky, all directors and president and staff members, and Manika Vasangaya for giving me this great opportunity to present this presentation. And in future, we will have more presentations specific to topics. And then thank you so much. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you, Aya.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் ஐயா. It's a thought-provoking session. Aya has given us a detailed and insightful view of the topic today through beautiful flowcharts of self-transformation of almighty eternal force to human being, beautifully explained various theories of universal evolution, including Big Bang theory, inflation, and steady state theory, and thoughtfully compared them with the Vethathirian concept. It's a throwback and brought back those science memories: protons, neutrons, electrons, atoms to organisms, and periodic table in a much more interesting way. It was truly eye-opening to see how modern science is still exploring and piecing together these cosmic puzzles. No scientific explanation has matched the depth and clarity with which Vethathiri Maharishi has explained the science of the universe. You have shared very valuable and big picture with us today. It was amazing to learn so many interesting facts about space, unified force, and how they are all connected. This session really showed us once again how Vethathiri Maharishi wisdom is truly special and far ahead of his time. A big thank you once again, Tyagarajanaya, for making these complex ideas so understandable and meaningful and sharing his deep thoughts with us today. The way you explained
Thank you, Amma.
the unified force, thank you, Aya. It's a deepening our awareness to the beauty of the universe design. We are grateful for your clear explanation and the way you bridged. On behalf of everyone here, thank you once again, Aya, for this enriching session. Thanks a lot, Janagiraman Aya, for the opportunity. And I have shared the WhatsApp link. If those who didn't join the WhatsApp group, kindly join the WhatsApp group link, above link, which has been shared in the chat box, and stay updated with the session plan and schedule without missing any details. Thanks a lot. Any questions? You can raise your hands and you can ask.
Mr. Prem, you can start the question.
Yes. I'm Prem from Singapore. Vyarajanaya, thanks for your detailed information about detailed reports and quantum tunneling, quantum physics, and quantum entanglement. So this is very useful for us. Vyarajan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I am
can
from
hear you.
Singapore. Finds detailed information. I have the quick questions. I send the personal WhatsApp to you. Can you share the documents which is useful to so that all people go through this and we have the quick question on it? The quantum physics, particularly the quark level, the proton and neutron. And can you share the screen? I personally WhatsApp you.
Yes, yeah, but you can have a separate session, get appointment with Aya, and then you can explain your theory, and then we can discuss.
Okay,
To
understand.
save this, to save the time. If you have any questions, quick questions, you can ask. Because otherwise it will be a discussion again, another discussion.
Okay, understood. Okay, thanks for information. Okay, once again, thanks to you, sir. Thanks for detailed report. Thanks.
Bhuma. Rami, you can call the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bhuma Srinivasan. Ma'am, you can ask the question.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் ஐயா.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் அம்மா.
ஐயா, your speech was wonderful, and you have referred so many books and YouTube pages also, I think. I have a
Yes, sir.
small doubt, ஐயா.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead,
yes, ma'am.
I have a small doubt. Atom is circular, you said. Is a fact or assumption? Because Earth is round, atom is round, or what? And is it an assumption or fact?
No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Oh,
It is a global shape. Everything takes a global shape from the primordial state, like a dust, formative dust, to everything. It takes a yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Iya. My thanks to Janagiraman Iya and Dr. Manikvasam Iya and other coordinators also. Thank you, Iya.
Thank you.
Mr. Vasudevan.
Yeah, வாழ்க வளமுடன். Sir, it is a fantastic this one speech. I heard It is more than what I can chew at a time. It is so elaborate and it was containing so many things. But Maharishi said about three things. Out of three, one is magnet. Not much was mentioned in the speech about the magnetism connected with the science. In another speech or another occasion, I think you will connect that magnetism and explain that also as well, because he told three things, and I was not able to correlate what you have listed from the absolute space to Vetan and other things. In that, God's particle comes third or fourth place. But whereas Maharishi said immediately after absolute space, it comes Yogan. Then he said about magnetism, unmanifested magnetism. All the three are not, we cannot interact with them. We will not be able to know about them also, he mentioned. And starting from Vedan, everything we can correlate, we can talk, we can relate. All those things was possible only after the coming up of Vedan. So that you may have to explain, at least if not now, at least in the next speech or course, I believe. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Because that's why I highlighted one of his poem, which talks about the Ereithugal, formative dust. Okay, so that's why I have mentioned the formative dust after the eternal space, formative dust, and then infinitesimal energy particle, which is wind. So he has mentioned in his Brahmanyanam's poem, December 2002. I think the poem number is 1711.
Yeah, I think.
So,
no, the thing is,
I referred that.
you have brought up Yogan after Vedan. Actually, Yogan is a primary thing. After Yogan,
No, I did
Yogan
not.
is God's particle. It was the first particle, first emanation, we can say, of the absolute space. But you have brought it after Vedan. That is what confusing me.
No, the first thing is Vedan, yeah. And then because of the rotation and the friction with the space, the Yogan arrives, Yogan comes. So that's why in my flow chart, I have mentioned with the Vedan, and then from the Vedan, the Yogan emits.
That was an earlier thing. In the very first book, which is Universal Magnetism, written in Yakov Valley, in that book, it comes like that, shadow particle. But later on, the latest thing, he has mentioned Yogan as the first place and Vedan in the second place.
I am not sure. Yeah, I did not read that. So I referred this poem and then the unified force, which talks about the Vedan, and then the shadow particle is the Yogan. So shadow particle comes because of the rotation of the Vedan.
Yeah.
Wonderful, yeah. Thank you so much. And sir, I have a small question. Tyagarajan, actually. See, our main Yanis, okay, Maharishis and all these people, they understand so in depth about a lot of things by sitting in deep meditation, penance. They understand all this. How do the scientists understand? Because today you talk about you talk about the atom, the Planck. Okay, so they so detailed, they go in detail. Is it because they don't? I don't think there are any equipments for that now. Is it only the mathematical models or extrapolation? I mean, just for my knowledge sake, I mean, I'm absolutely a naive in it. Absolutely, my knowledge is zero on this. Just I want to understand from you, what do they use? Is it just explanation? I mean, extrapolation, or is it some mathematical models are there? How do they come to this actually?
Yeah, I can correlate the same thing with, for example, if their frequency, mind frequency, goes down, and then because of that. So they are very do anything with the concentration.
True.
It's a kind of meditation. So their frequency level reduces, goes near to the lower levels, and then they get these ideas or this knowledge from somewhere, and then they put it as a theory. So they start with the theory. When they do the theory, for example, Aristotle or anybody before that, the Bohm. So those people, they come up with the idea from their mind, and then they make it as a theory. Then they go for finding the data or the empirical values or experimental. Then one by one but in any earlier science or even the philosophers and even the scientists or philosophers like Newton and Einstein, they talk about the God particle or talk about the mysterious force. So that means my understanding is their frequency level, mind frequency level, in such a way that similar to the jnanis, and they can find this, they can understand, or they can get this wisdom, and then they can try to, because with their knowledge of studies, they can try to bring this up as a document or as a theory. Then people work on it and try to prove that slowly. So this is what my understanding. Definitely they have a higher vision or a higher level of concentration.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you. Over to Ramya ji.
Thank you, Maharishi. Thanks a lot for the wonderful session. It's an eye-opening session, and great, wonderful questions has been asked, and you have been cleared all the questions beautifully. Thank you, Aya. Shall we wind up the session?
Yeah, please. You can just thank everybody, and then you can.
And one more thing, just one message, because I think I went beyond the given time, because we started I think 5:15, 5:17 something. So sorry for that. Next time
no. Yeah, please. Mr. Thiagarajan, the topic you need one full day for this. But it is so much.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Beautifully you said.
I was speeding up.
No. I think we should give you a full day, a workshop in Aliyar, where you get a full day and do it. It is so interesting. Thank you so much. It is so much of information was gathered, as Mr. Vasudevan said. Difficult to fathom in one session, actually. Okay, definitely we'll, as we go along, we'll do a lot more, actually. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Aya. Be blessed by the divine. Maharishi. We thank you, the research and development directors. Sincere thank you to our senior professors and all the respected participants joining us today this evening. It's a truly pleasure to have you all now, and the back end people, those who helping to make this Zoom meeting possible. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, and we'll wind up the session with.
We also have a few people on the YouTube. People are joined to YouTube also, so we want to thank them also. Then,
thank you. Yeah. உலகநல வாழ்த்து.
உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை உவப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும், பல தொழில்கள் புரிகின்ற பாட்டாளி உயரட்டும், பகுத்துணர்வில் தொகுத்துணர்வே பண்பாட்டை உயர்த்தட்டும், கலகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்தாட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடன் வறுமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். 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 வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Will
Thank you,
end
thank
the
you.
meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.